Supporting growth across generations, knowing and understanding oneself during adolescent stage and middle adulthood stage. Hello, my name is Jamila Allen, and today I'll be sharing two experiences that became deeply connected throughout this course. The first focusing on my own personal growth as I worked to overcome the impact that childhood experiences had on my relationships with my extended family. The second focuses on supporting my 13-year-old daughter as she navigates the challenges of adolescence and develops confidence in communicating with others. Although these projects began separately, I realized they shared a common theme. Both involve understanding how development shapes our thoughts, behaviors, and relationships. By applying developmental theory to both situations, I gained a better understanding of myself as an adult and my daughter as she grows into adolescence. The purpose of this presentation is to show how developmental theories can help us better understand both ourselves and the people we care about. I'll discuss how I learned to separate my own childhood experiences from the relationships I wanted my daughters to have with our extended family. I'll also explain how understanding adolescent development helped me respond more effectively to my daughter's reluctance to communicate. My goal is to show that when we understand development, we can replace frustration with empathy and support positive growth. Overview of developmental challenges. My personal challenge involved overcoming painful childhood experiences that caused me to withdraw from my extended family. Although those events happened many years ago, I realized they were still influencing my relationships as an adult. I wanted to make sure those experiences did not prevent my daughters from developing healthy relationships with our family. At the same time, my daughter's journey was facing her own developmental challenge. As she entered middle school, she became increasingly shy and reluctant to communicate with people outside of our immediate family. Something as simple as ordering her own food caused significant anxiety. Instead of viewing this simply as a behavior problem, I wanted to understand what was happening developmentally. Through my self development journey, I realized that experiences from my childhood were still influencing my relationships as an adult. Growing up, hurtful comments from some extended family members caused me to withdraw from family gatherings and assume that reconnecting would only lead to more disappointment. As I reflected on these experiences, I recognized that my parents and immediate family were never aware of what had been said to me, and they would likely have supported me had they known. Instead of allowing those memories to continue shaping my behavior, I made a conscious effort to separate my own experiences from the relationships I wanted my daughters to have with our extended family. I intentionally planned family gatherings, attended sporting events together, participated instead of standing on the sidelines, and worked through moments of frustration without reacting emotionally. One of my biggest breakthroughs was realizing that healing doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means choosing not to let it control the present. This experience strengthened not only my family relationships, but also my own emotional growth. Through my daughter's journey, it helped reinforce the importance of understanding development before reacting to behavior. Initially, my husband and I viewed her reluctance to communicate as something that needed to be corrected. We tried consequences and pressure, but those approaches only increased her resistance. After studying Erickson's identity versus role confusion stage, I realized that her behavior was likely part of normal adolescent development rather than simple defiance. We shifted our approach by replacing punishment with encouragement and providing small, manageable opportunities for her to practice communication. We encouraged her to order her own meals in restaurants, praised her efforts instead of expecting perfection, and gave her space when she needed it. Over time, we saw meaningful progress. She became more comfortable ordering food, shared more about school and softball, and even started spending more time talking and laughing with us at home. This experience taught me that understanding developmental theory can transform the way we support others. Rather than trying to force change, I learned that patience, empathy, and positive encouragement create an environment where growth can naturally occur. Developmental theories that guided my journey. One of the greatest takeaways from this course was realizing that developmental theories are much more than concepts in a textbook. They help explain real life experiences. Erickson's psychosocial theory helped me understand both my own development and my daughter's. As a middle aged adult, I am in the generativity versus stagnation stage where adults focus on nurturing relationships, supporting the next generation, and leaving a positive legacy. This helped me realize why rebuilding family relationships had become so important to me. For my daughter, Erickson's identity versus role confusion stage explained that her reluctance to communicate was likely connected to the normal process of developing her identity. Instead of viewing her behavior as disrespectful or defiant, I learned that adolescents often become more self conscious and selective in their communication as they figure out who they are. Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory also helped me understand that both of our behaviors were influenced by our environments and relationships. My childhood family experiences shaped my adult perceptions, while my daughter's family, school, peers, and social experiences continue to influence her development today. From theory to practice, this changed my thinking before changing my behavior. I replace punishment with encouragement, create opportunities for growth through practice, focus on progress instead of perfection. Learning these theories completely changed the way I approach both situations. Personally, I learned to reframe my thoughts instead of allowing past experiences to determine my current relationships. Rather than avoiding family gatherings, I intentionally participated in them, communicated openly, and focused on creating positive memories for my daughters. With my daughter, we stopped trying to force communication through consequences. Instead, we created small opportunities for success, such as encouraging her to order her own meals in restaurants and celebrating each accomplishment. We also learned to respect her need for independence while remaining available to support her. This balance helped build her confidence without making her feel pressured. These practical changes demonstrated that developmental theory isn't simply academic knowledge. It provides strategies that improve everyday relationships and help individuals grow. Lessons that will stay with me. This course taught me that development doesn't stop after childhood. We continue growing, learning, and changing throughout our lives. Whether we are adults working through childhood experiences or adolescents discovering who they are, every stage presents opportunities for growth. It also reminded me that meaningful change rarely happens overnight. It happens through consistent support, reflection, encouragement, and a willingness to see ourselves and others through the lens of human development. Those lessons will continue to guide both my personal life and my work as an educator. Lessons I will carry forward. I now understand healing begins with understanding. Every stage of life brings opportunities for growth. Developmental theory helps explain behavior, not define it. Positive relationships create lasting change. The most valuable lesson I learned from these projects is that growth begins with understanding. I often view my own experiences and my daughter's behavior through an emotional lens. Studying lifespan development helped me step back and recognize that many behaviors are connected to normal developmental processes rather than personal shortcomings. I also learned that personal growth is lifelong. As an adult, I had to confront childhood experiences that were influencing my relationships, while at the same time learning how to better support my daughter as she developed her own identity. Another important takeaway was that developmental theories are not meant to place people into categories. They provide a framework that helps us better understand behavior and respond with greater empathy. I learned that strong, supportive relationships are one of the most powerful influences on healthy development at every stage of life. Practical strategies for growth. Understand behavior before reacting. Take small, achievable steps. Replace criticism with encouragement. Be patient and celebrate progress. Meaningful change starts with understanding. Before reacting to a situation, take a step back and ask yourself what might be influencing the person's behavior. Looking at challenges through a developmental lens helped me respond with more patience and empathy instead of frustration. Another strategy Another strategy that worked was focusing on small achievable goals. I didn't expect myself to completely overcome years of hurt overnight, and I didn't expect my daughter suddenly to become outgoing. Instead, we, cel- we celebrated small victories. For me, it was participating in family gatherings and creating positive experiences. For my daughter, it was ordering her own food, sharing more about her day, and becoming more comfortable communicating. Those small successes gradually built confidence and created lasting change. Some key takeaways. Understanding development changes perspectives. Healing and growth are lifelong processes. Small, consistent actions create meaningful change. Empathy strengthens relationships. As I reflect on these two projects, one message stands out. Understanding human development changes the way we see ourselves and others. Learning about lifespan development helped me realize that my own childhood experiences were still influencing my relationships as an adult, while my daughter's behavior reflected a normal stage of adolescent development rather than simply a problem to fix. These experiences remind me that growth is a lifelong process. Whether we are healing from our past or supporting someone else through a developmental challenge, meaningful change happens through small, consistent actions. Rebuilding family relationships, encouraging communication, and responding with empathy instead of frustration created positive changes that continue today. This course has made me a more reflective person, a more patient parent, and a more understanding educator. Some words of encouragement. Give yourself and others grace. Focus on progress, not perfection. Listen before reacting. And know that small, consistent steps create lasting growth. I want to leave you with this encouragement. Whatever challenge you're facing, remember that growth begins with one intentional step. Take time to reflect on your own experiences and consider how they may be shaping your current relationships or responses. At the same time, try to view the people in your life through a lens of understanding rather than judgment. Give yourself and the people around you grace. Celebrate progress, even when it seems small. The little victories often become the foundation for lasting change. My family's journey didn't change overnight, but each positive conversation, each family gathering, and each new experiences built greater confidence and stronger relationships. As both a parent and an educator, I've learned that listening with empathy is often more powerful than trying to immediately solve a problem. When we seek to understand before we judge, we create relationships built on trust, encouragement, and support. Those are the environments where people feel safe to grow into the best versions of themselves. Your journey starts today. Take the first step. Reflect on your own experiences, replace judgment with understanding, celebrate small victories, and choose one action that helps support someone. As I end this presentation, I encourage you to think about one challenge in your own life. Ask yourself what developmental factors may be influencing that situation and identify one small action you can take this week to move forward. Growth doesn't require perfection, it simply requires the willingness to begin. Thank you for taking this time to listen to my story, and I hope it encourages you to continue growing, learning, and supporting those around. Thank you for listening.